European leaders are also talking about this upcoming referendum. They met in Brussels for emergency talks on Ukraine. And to recap, the 28-member bloc decided to suspend talks on an EU-Russia visa deal. They also endorsed the G8's move to abandon an upcoming summit in Sochi. CCTV's Sandra Gathmann has more now from Brussels.
The European Union detailed a three-stage approach to reprimanding Russia for its military grip on Ukraine's Crimea Peninsula. First, a suspension of discussions with Russia on a visa-free travel deal with the EU, and also a pullout of preparations for a gathering of leaders from the world's largest economies in Sochi. European leaders made it clear they expect Moscow to negotiate a resolution to the Crimean crisis with Ukraine. If not, Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron described a second stage of potential repercussions by EU countries.
And if Russia does not rapidly engage in direct talks with the Ukrainian government to find a solution to this crisis, we have been clear in the statement today that we will go further. We have today tasked the European Commission to start work on additional measures, including travel bans and asset freezes.
The real test of European action will be if Russia makes military advances into eastern Ukraine, after which the EU says it will consider trade and financial sanctions. And that tough language was thought to have been inspired by Washington's announcement of its own sanctions list against Moscow earlier in the day. Because walking into talks, EU leaders were divided about making threats against Russia that might affect their economic interests. To help stabilize Ukraine, the EU said it's prepared to accelerate the implementation of a political and trade deal with Kiev.
We strongly believe that EU supports Ukraine, and we strongly believe that both Ukraine and the EU are ready to sign an association agreement and are ready to undertake real steps to stabilize the situation in the region.
Questions remain over the possibility that Ukraine's continued overtures to the EU might provoke the Kremlin to tighten its grip further in the east. Sandra Gathmann, CCTV, Brussels.